Okay, so lots of options there.
Yeah.
I don't know what the most popular is going to be.
Couple seconds. Okay. See what we got here. You guys see the answers?
Yeah, kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, it looks like it's popular around the house than it were.
Not the Those are going to be the best ones. Wait.
Well, I've got good news for you, whatever answer you chose, because we are going to go over hacks in all of these categories. So we're just going to go all across the board. We are going to start with around the house. Let's switch to this. Forgive me, I'm just looking through my notes. I don't want to forget any of these. There's so many. So first, I've got some random items here you might see on the first page for around the house. We've got a hair dryer, toothpaste, and looks like that dog's getting some good sleep. So, a little overview of what we're going to talk about. So, lots of examples on here. First, I want to talk about hair dryer because there were so many things that you can do with a hair dryer. One is if you have kids that are artistic and just like to draw all over the walls with crayons, hair dryer will melt that away. Same for sticky labels on containers. And I thought this one was interesting, watering. So if you forget to set your drink on a coaster, a hair dryer will remove the watering. And me and Adana had a fun time talking about this next one. A hair dryer will help stretch tight shoes. I don't know how, but they say if you put on the tight-fitted shoe and run a hair dryer over it, it will stretch. Also, another tip to stretch shoes is a bag of water. I guess pour water in a sandwich bag, put it in the shoe, and put it in the freezer. And, water expands when it's frozen, so that kind of stretches the shoe out. Adana, didn't you say you need somebody like in a pageant that used this trick?
Yeah, I used to work with a lady, and her daughter was in pageants all the time, and there were just shoes that she would find that were so cute and went so well with the dresses, but she was like, we had to stretch them sometimes, and that's what they would do. They would put them in the freezer and stretch them.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's a really good trick if you don't feel like breaking in new shoes. Just try the water bag trick, and it might help you out a little bit. Next, dish soap can be used as an ice pack. Just put it in a sandwich bag again, put it in the freezer, and you're ready to go.
Now, Chelsea, I have to comment here. Like I mentioned in the cooking one, I can't live my life without Ziploc bags. I use those for everything. I store leftover food in them. I freeze food in them. I use them for, when you're traveling to pack in. I use them to put, things that have a lid that could spill to store. Yes. So Ziploc bags, I think, are one of the best inventions. I even have giant Ziploc bags that you can push the air out of and kind of make your own vacuum packed storage bags.
Oh, and also, too, with those storage bags, Jeannie, you can, if you have maybe something that you don't want to waste a whole entire bag for, and you could maybe use half of that bag, you can take a butter knife and heat it up and then run it along the side or along the middle of that bag, and it will seal just like it did from the factory. So then you've got two bags out of one.
Oh.
Okay. I've seen people do that with flat irons, too, like hair straighteners. They can melt it back together.
You know.
Okay. The next one, mustard. Mustard can help with cramps. A good friend of mine, she said she keeps the little mini packets of mustard in her gym bag, so if she feels like, kind of her muscles cramping up, she'll just take that and it'll go away. But I've never tried that before. Toothpaste. Toothpaste is another huge one where there's so many things you can do with toothpaste. One that I've actually tried before on my car is fixing the foggy headlights. rating this one, I would say it kind of works. It helps it just a little bit. It helps mirrors be fog-free, and I was told that shaving cream can help a mirror be fog-free as well. It also removes coffee stains. And I did a little bit more research this morning. Like I said, packs are never ending, so I found a bunch more this morning. And one on toothpaste is that it helps place frames on wall evenly. This is one of those that's kind of far-fetched, but it works. So if you're wanting to put a bunch of frames on the wall and you want to make sure they're even and you want to know where exactly to hang them, you put toothpaste on the top of the back of the frame, place it exactly where you want it. The toothpaste will make a mark on the wall, and then you put the nail, and that's about where the toothpaste is. So,
There you go. I want to know if anyone else has anything they use toothpaste for. To brush your teeth. Anything else you guys have seen? Or any other life hacks around the house?
Cleaning jewelry. Toothpaste is really good at cleaning jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
I had a sterling silver bracelet that kind of tarnished a little bit, and it was very precious to me. My godparents gave it to me when I was maybe a year old or something. And I had it sitting in a jewelry box, and I took it out, and I'm like, oh, no, it's all tarnished. I took some toothpaste and cleaned it right up.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that one either. Just a couple other ones for around the house. It's something might spark an idea of something that you do at home. But Adonna was so very kind to donate a bag of dryer lint to me this morning. There's a couple things you can do with dryer lint. One we'll get to later, but another around the house item is you can make clay out of dryer lint.
What?
Yeah, it says that you can turn dryer lint into clay. You want to collect 3 cups of lint, soak it in a saucepan filled with water, then add 1 cup of flour until it's smooth. Cook it on low heat, and it will stir into a clay.
You just
That is something.
That's like a science project.
Try that. Yeah. Let's see. If you throw a few ice cubes in the dryer, it will help stop any wrinkles. If you feel like throwing a few new tennis balls, it will fluff up towels and blankets. A ball of aluminum foil will get rid of static in your clothing. And last is, if you've ever put a picture in a picture frame and notice that the picture keeps flipping, all you gotta do is put a rubber band behind the picture, it'll stay right in place.
Wow. Wow.
You did great.
Oh, Bonnie said you could use that clay from the dryer lint as a good sculpture for the summer. That's true. All right. Let's go to our next subject in the kitchen. This is probably, out of all the searching I did, this is probably the most popular item that had life hacks to it. Let's see. And this goes for like cooking, cleaning, you name it.
I think foil is another multi-purpose material as well. A lot of uses for
It
foil.
definitely is. Yeah, and I put a few pictures in here so you can see examples, but it will clean grill grates, silverware, any iron item. If you put it on bananas, it'll keep them riper longer. And this other one is it keeps pets off of furniture. This goes for kitchen counters too. Something about, I don't know if it's the reflection that they see or maybe it's just a feeling on their feet that
Yeah, I've heard it was the feeling.
The feeling? Yeah, I know. I just think about that weird feeling if you, like, sit down on aluminum foil. So I just imagine the claws, that would be a little aggravating. And the next, this one is a cereal box trick. It's used to keep your cereal fresher for longer. And it seals the box shut so you have no mess, not worried about spilling. I'm going to try my best to demonstrate this one. If anybody knows what TikTok is, this is where I found this trick. And you'll probably think, oh Lord, she's talking about TikTok, but there's a lot of good hacks on TikTok. So you take a cereal box, you fold down the two little tabs on the side, and one on the inside like that with one tab open. You're going to take the sides and kind of fold them. And you're just going to fold that tab in there like that. There's your nice sealed cereal box. So if it's sealed, you don't have to worry about cleaning up no mess.
I like that one. Yeah. So Jessica likes the rubber band and the picture trick. She'll be trying that.
Oh, yeah. I think I will too. I have that problem with the picture slipping quite a bit. All right. So on to, this is another odd one, but they say if you keep a piece of bread in your cookie container, it'll keep the cookies fresher longer. That was a pretty popular one. I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah, that one makes a little more sense because the bread absorbs the moisture. You can do that for a lot of different things.
Whose cookies last long enough that they don't stay fresh?
Strawberries. So if you don't have a strawberry huller at home, like one of those little claw-looking things that goes and takes the green part out, use a straw. It's just as easy. Supercook.com. I think a lot of you are going to like this one if you haven't heard of it before. But pretty much what you do on there is you go in and you enter every single thing that's in your kitchen, pantry, everything you have, and Supercook will tell you all the recipes that you have the ingredients to make.
Oh, wow.
And I went on the website. It's really easy to use. They break it down between like fruits, vegetables, baking goods, everything. So that might be worth trying too.
You can
I think
use that too, just to like, if you want to make something with ingredients you like, list the stuff that you like, and it would give
that's
you
a good one too.
put it together.
Yeah, that's true. And then I've heard of this last one, just putting a bowl of water in the microwave to clean it. You'll steam it up, and all you gotta do is just wipe away any mess you have in there. Let's see. Look at my extra notes this morning.
Bonnie, have you tried the microwave one with the water? Yes. So she says yes, that works, and she's done that all the time. That's great.
Oh, good. I'll share just a few more. This one's interesting. If you have leftover herbs and you want to save them for another time, if you cut them up and put them in an ice tray and pour a little bit of oil on them, put them in the freezer, all you gotta do is just pop up the little block from the ice tray of the oil and the herbs and put them in your pan. They're ready to go. So it'll kind of make them last a little longer too.
I do that. I have a huge amount of parsley left over in my garden from last year, so I have a big bag of parsley ice cubes.
I think that's a really good trick, especially for those of us who like being in the kitchen and cooking.
Yeah, sometimes things can go bad so quickly, and that's a great option.
Mhm. Then another one, Adana brought this one up, is if you don't feel like taking the risk of cutting yourself by cleaning out a blender, or even me, I probably use it on a food processor, just throw some water and dish soap in there and start the blender up. It'll wash itself.
Right?
I've got all kinds of good ones.
One other one for cooking is if you put a half teaspoon of baking soda in with hard-boiled eggs as you're boiling them, then it makes the peels just come off really easily.
I have heard of that. I have not tried that yet.
Yes, and then along with the Ziploc bag, if you put like a half gallon of ice cream in a Ziploc bag, and put it in the freezer, that's gonna keep it from getting too hard, and when you take it out, you're able to, dish it up easier. Keeps it soft.
Jeannie loves her ice cream.
Ice cream in a Ziploc bag, that was my perfect one.
All right.
Oh, along the lines of the hard-boiled eggs, I don't boil my eggs anymore. I bake them. You can use a muffin tin. Use some aluminum foil and just kind of sprinkle that up and down in the bottom of the muffin tin hole, and then you set your eggs on top of there and you bake them at 350 for 30 minutes. Put them in an ice bath for 10 minutes, and they peel very easily too. So it's foolproof.
Awesome. All right, so that's in the kitchen. Let's move on to the next topic. We're going to go to here at work, here at the office. And with this one, I have a little bit different of an approach. I've got a few tricks, but the others are just kind of more how to prepare yourself for a productive work week. So, and this was a pretty popular one too. Let me get on to the next slide here. So first, a very popular item were binder clips, these little things.
Oh, yeah.
You can do all kinds of things with them. I've tried a few myself in the last week. I'll be honest, a lot of them don't work, especially the phone, the cell phone prop. I've tried that. Maybe my case is too big, but I have seen a lot of people use them to hold pictures or important notes, stuff like that at their desk. And it also is a good way to organize like messy cords. If you get annoyed by those cords going everywhere from your mouse, your keyboard, computer, all that, little binder clip will kind of combine them for you. And this next one, I got this little part from online. It's talking about Elon Musk and what he does to kind of set himself up. What he did was he ran late for a deadline with Tesla one time, and from then on he set 2 deadlines. He uses them to serve as a buffer if something goes wrong. One deadline is for you, the other is for your clients, customers, or your boss. And this kind of reminded me of something that I do kind of in a different way. I always set 2 alarms for myself, 2 minutes apart. So if for some reason I'm lagging in the morning or I just don't wake up from the first one, 2 minutes later, that other one's going off just to help me get up and get going. And the next one is the 2-minute rule. This is a very popular one. I feel like I already kind of did this one, but if you have something on your to-do list that you can knock out in 2 minutes or less, just go ahead, knock it out, get it done. Right. And the next, if you will put in the chat, does anybody in here meal prep or lay their clothes out the night before for work? I know I do both of these. Give y'all a second to put in the chat if you have any ideas. See, Jessica does.
So Kelsey, on this one, you know, some people take it to the extreme, like, you know, there's people who said, you know, every decision you make every day takes some effort. And, you know, Steve Jobs would wear the same black shirt, black pants, and white tennis shoes every day because he didn't want to waste time making a decision and using his brain power to decide what to wear. So, you know, when you do stuff the night before and when you kind of make decisions ahead of time or simplify, that's going to free up your mind to focus on more important things.
Mm-hmm. That way it's there. Just don't even have to think about it. Got a few in the chat. See, Jessica and Renee both lay their clothes out the night before.
Pack lunches.
Donna meal prep breakfast. Mm-hmm. Lisa will sometimes determine the whole week's clothes. That's pretty nice. Well, awesome.
Yeah.
I use, before I go to bed, I'll lay my clothes out. I'll go ahead and lay out a plate or something for my breakfast. That way it's ready to go. It saves a bunch of time, and that way I'm not fumbling around in the dark trying to find my clothes. They're ready to go. What's this one from Becky? For kids, you can get a shoe divider and hang it on the door and put a different outfit in each spot of each day.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
And then,
Any way to help organize that.
yeah, and then the kids can just get it out themselves. They'll know right where it is and can help them get dressed themselves. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Another, meal prepping. That's a big one. I know a lot of people do it differently. I don't really do it as extensive as this picture I used an example of, but I do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That way all I have to do is just pop it in the microwave, heat it up, and it's ready to go from there. And then another little tidbit I found was, I had this problem quite a bit, is if you're making 3-ring binders and you're having an issue with papers ripping and all that, before you hole punch it, put a little piece of tape over it, and that'll keep it more solid of a piece of paper.
Like a strip of tape all the way down the edge?
Or at least just over where you're going to hole punch.
Oh, good idea.
That makes me chuckle, Kelsey, just because I've, witnessed you and your hole punching the past couple of days.
Yeah.
You're making binders.
Yeah. I did a lot of hole punching yesterday. All right, let's move on to the next one. If you're outside, enjoying the outdoors, this can be used if you're gardening, camping, grilling, whatever you wish. Let's go on to some examples. You can make fire. This is another thing you can do with the dryer lint. Is if you take an empty toilet paper roll, put the dryer lint in it, it'll be an instant fire starter once you light it. I've been told if you put a little bit of melted candle wax, that'll help it burn longer. Keisha said the dryer lint works.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Great.
And for those of you who have a garden at home, I don't know if you have problems with deer or other little animals getting in there, taking what they want. Apparently, if you put soap shavings all around your garden, it'll keep them away. I don't know if it's taste, smell, but you wouldn't have to worry about deers in that case.
So,
If you're ever out and about.
on the garden, my next door neighbor, she and her husband lived on a farm and their whole lives, and she swears by, she always plants marigolds, around the edge of the garden. She said that keeps the deer away. So I tried that this year, and so far seems to be working because we have fields all right next to us, and the deer, you see, their tracks are coming up into the yard in the evening. So we'll see if it works for the whole season.
Awesome. And another, I have heard of this next one, is if you're out and you don't have any bug spray, if you heat up a coin or a spoon, it will stop the itch of a mosquito bite. That was a pretty popular one, too. And this next one is a TikTok original that I found. If you want to re-sprout either raspberries, blackberries, or strawberries, anything with the seed on the outside, all you got to do is pour them, put them in a mesh colander and, kind of push out the fruit. That way you just have the seeds. All you got to do is just take a long strip of toilet paper, put the seeds about 2 inches apart, fold it over, spray it with water, and put it in a glass jar for about a day or two. You should have little sprouts of that raspberry or whatever you want to do. So from there, you would just put that piece of toilet paper in under the soil, and you'll get some brand new berries.
I think that'd be a fun one with kids again to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we at my house, we do a lot of grilling, and I've noticed for a non-stick grill, if you're cooking burgers or any sort of meat and it's sticking, beforehand, if you rub half an onion on a heated grate, it will stop that from happening. I thought that was a pretty cool one, too.
Add some good flavor, too.
Yep. Does anybody else have any hacks for being outside?
I've got another one.
Go ahead.
Oh, I've got another one that I use for like gardening. I was talking about eggs. We eat a lot of eggs in our household. So I save the shells and I bake them at like 220 or something for about 10 minutes and then crush them up and keep them in a jar. And I pour those little pieces of the eggshells on my plants to keep root rot from happening. So if you've got an area or a container where maybe it holds a little too much water or something, it's not draining properly, you can use some eggshells around the top there and it'll help that out.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah. Another good one is vinegar is a natural weed killer. I see newspaper is too, but if you spray vinegar, it's said to kill the weeds in 2 to 3 days. That might help y'all too.
Boiling
That's
water
the
will do the
outdoors.
same thing.
Boiling water will?
Yeah, you can take boiling water and pour it on a patch of weeds that you're having trouble with, and it'll kind of do the same thing.
Oh, cool. We're learning all kinds of tricks through here. See, Renee.
Oh.
Dawn dish soap, vinegar, and water for weeds. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Animals and environment as much as some of the harsh chemicals.
All right. This next one, I told you some of these were random and some of them were just crazy. The next topic is just for fun. Do you ever find yourself wanting to call a friend during quarantine and sing happy birthday, or are you just too shy to sing? You dial this number that I got on the screen here. It does say happy birthday. I would do it for you guys, but my phone won't go loud enough. That was a pretty fun one. And then pickup pools. We're getting into summertime. We're going to need to find some way to cool down. I think this is a fun idea if you have a truck. Donna, why don't you tell that little story that you told me the other day?
Well, I do have a friend that has done this before. They were having a little cookout at their house, and he has a farm. He's always doing stuff. He's, working hard in the summertime especially, and, sometimes he just doesn't want to go to the lake or somewhere else or a pool, and we might have a little trouble getting into pools here soon, but anyway, he decided to do just this. He put a tarp or a couple of them in the back of his bed of his big dually truck, and he filled it up, and 5 of his friends got in there. Yep. And then he went riding up the hill, and of course the water started coming out of the back of the truck. But they did have their pickup pool. Ain't it done?
Wow. Some other people have tried that recently. So it must work. And
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, that was Nikisha.
That was fun.
All right. Well, we're getting near the end, and before I show our last example, just a couple others that I forgot to mention is if you like dunking Oreos in milk, but you don't like dunking it and getting all your hands all in the milk and the cookie tears apart, if you just put a fork in the cream part and then dunk it, it's ready to go. I see Adonna's face on that one.
No, the Oreo fan. Justin, did you try that?
No, but my life has been changed. I will definitely be doing that soon.
Hey.
Another is if you have a hard time cooling down at night and you have a hard time going to sleep, all you gotta do is maybe an hour or even a half hour before you go to sleep, put your pillowcase in the freezer and it'll be ready to cool down before you go to sleep. Cornstarch is good to remove grease stains. And I've seen this one done before. If you get water damage to your iPhone, putting it in a bag of rice will get it back up and running. My roommate in college had to do that our first week of school, and it worked. Her phone was back to normal. So that was kind of a cool one, too.
Or you can also collect those little silica packets that come in like shoes or things that you order online. We have those and we keep them in a Ziploc baggie, and just in case we need to do the rice trick, you don't have to have rice. You can use those silica packets.
That's awesome.
And another thing too, I forgot to mention this. Those little silica packets also work well for those people that use seeds to plant for gardens. If you don't use all of that seed packet, you can just use like a plastic box or something, a pencil box, even if you've got kids that have a couple of those around. Put those seeds in there and the silica packets in there with it, and it'll keep the moisture away from your seeds and they won't sprout, and you can use them again the next year.
Yeah, that's something, because I always throw those little things away, and you just never know all the things that they're good to help with.
Just don't let your kids eat them.
Well,
Those kids are pets. No, they can't.
Yeah,
Those kids are pets.
keep away from kids and pets so they don't eat them.
Yeah, I saw another one that was good. Makisha said that chalk removes grease stains. The chalk or cornstarch. Okay. Well, that's all I had. I have one more big finale is if you are at a celebration and you don't have those fancy confetti poppers, and you can do this for any celebration. It can be birthdays, gender reveals, work parties, whatever you want. And I put together this example. It's kind of fun. Adonna's going to help me out on it, but I'll go ahead and show it to you. So what I've got here is a balloon, some tape, and a toilet paper roll. One thing I would give advice on is tie the balloon before you put it on the toilet paper roll. That way you don't have to hold it shut like I am. And in here is the confetti, aka copy paper. So Adonna, do you want to go first?
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Surprise!
We'll try this one too. There we go.
Oh, it worked.
That's the cover.
So, Chelsea, walk us through how you make those again, or where we can find the directions online.
Yeah, well, what I did, I actually forgot where I found this online. I apologize. But all I did was I took a balloon. I cut just a little bit off the end of it where I had the end here, and I wrapped it over a toilet paper roll, and I taped it shut. Then all you have to do is just cut up some paper, put it in there, and that's all it was. It didn't take me no time to fix these.
Okay.
Yeah, now I've got confetti all over my desk.
You could have colored paper. You could use scraps of material. You could use sequins. You could use glitter, any kind of stuff that you want to make a big mess with.
This would be a good kids project because, I mean, you could color, paint, whatever you want with the toilet paper roll.
That's a great idea.
I just love making it.
All right. So we've reached the end. I told you we'd see our little friend again. So now he's learned all about life hacks, and he is confused no more. He's happy now. So just to kind of wrap everything up, life hacks, they can be whatever you want. You can be creative with them. They're fun, but they can also serve an actual purpose to help you with your daily routine. And as you've seen, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And they're totally customizable. You can make them help you in whatever way you wish. So that's life hacks.